I love pocket knives and I love opal, so it just makes sense to join them. Today I'm getting some lovely pieces of opal and transforming my old broken pocket knife. Believe me, you are going to want to see how this one ends. Because it's a thinner form of opal, I've actually resined the pieces in a casting resin because, as you can see, there's lots of little veins, and look, boulder opal doesn't like having holes drilled in it. It's just the fact. So to make sure it doesn't split and crack and fall apart, I'm actually going to make this little template and then actually mark out where I've actually drilled the holes in the back of the boulder to literally just replace the classic Swiss Army knife with beautiful boulder. Process is not that hard, but finding a good bit of boulder, I mean, fortunately I had this lovely slice, which is a really beautiful, we call it seamy, lots of seams, lots of lovely veins. Look, it's not gem color, but it's certainly beautiful enough, and I think that's just what's going to make it really, really fun. It's just that lovely, lovely little uniqueness. Fairly simple to get the plastic off from the Swiss Army knife, and you can see I've cut that a little bit oversized, so I've got a little bit of room to move there. This is still curing, so I can still carve and move on to actually making the template. So I just carved off those little bits of excess. Now, the reason I chose a boulder opal is simply for economics. Getting a nice piece of this gives a little bit of a presence, a little bit of a play of pattern without spending tens of thousands of dollars on, say, a white opal or a black opal. And a white or a black opal would also be very hard to get in a nice large piece like this. Very, very tricky. Now I'm using a little template to mark where the holes are going to be, which I'll have to drill. So a fairly straightforward process. Unfortunately, I did do it the wrong way around the first time on one of them, but I got there in the end. But then I want to give it a good clean. Old pocket knife has seen some use, so we got it into the ultrasonic, give it 5 minutes. There it is. Also into our new electrolysis cleaner, just to give it a lovely good deep clean. Now I'm going to drill those holes. So this is a little diamond tipped drill. I had to carve them out a little bit, use a couple of different tips because it leaves that little tiny butt in the middle of the hole, so I have to sort of carve that out. Fairly straightforward process, not that difficult. This was why the resin is really handy, because that drilling can very easily crack the opal. This is where I actually figured out that I'd put it on back to front. I actually had to do some more holes, but it's all right. Now, you've made it this far into the video, so do me a favor and hit that like button. It just lets me know that you want to see more of these projects, which I really love to do. And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all my upcoming projects. Now, back to the project in hand. And this is a little tiny saw that just sort of like drills out the base that's left by the drill. And I sort of had to carve a little bit because it was just a little bit of hand carving to make sure it all fit perfectly and get them all into place. The one where I've got that screwdriver, that would actually take some extra carving because that actually has a big ridge that's cut out and carved out of the side of the opal, but I'll get to that one there. That was a little bit more carving. It's a simple process. Fortunately, that resin worked really well. It held everything together. It made everything sort of nice and stable. You can see there how there's a few holes. It's because I had the template on the wrong way. But, you know, you make these mistakes. Fortunately, it was on the base, and I'm just carving out to really just finesse it and get it really right. Once I actually had them all in place, it set really beautifully and actually looked really, really flush. Next, I tackled the screwdriver opening. So I got onto the edge of one of my cutting wheels because I could actually get in there and sort of just gouge out that little piece. And that got the job done, which was great. And then I was ready to sort of glue everything into position. So by this stage, I know it's fitting well. I'm using a lot of glue because I don't intend this to ever be taken off. So I'm actually gluing both sides, and there'll be a spillover excess, but I want that glue getting in there. Now I want to put some weight on it just to settle, because it's, you know, asymmetrical. So I've got this big hefty bowl of boulders, left that on there for a couple of hours, and then it's basically ready, and it just looks great. And that's the final pocket knife, all ready for its next adventure. This was such a lovely process, and although it had its challenges, I really enjoyed doing something so different and adventurous. So leave a comment to let me know what you think, or if you've got any ideas of what I should make next, just let me know. I'd love to consider it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.